everybody, Charlie Stevens here. Thank you so much for tuning in to another guitar lesson. Today I just wanted to take a moment and give you a real quick lesson on how to play E7 and also E minor 7. Alright, so we've been doing a really good job learning about all of our cowboy chords, all of our open position kind of normal beginner chords. And we've learned E major that is, and we've also learned E minor. Okay, and I realized we hadn't learned E7 yet, or E minor 7, and those are really important ones that are very simple to grasp if you're already familiar with these shapes. I figured we'd learn those today. Alright, so let's start with E7. We're going to learn two different ways to play each of these chords today. The first way I'd like to show you how to play E7 involves us first making a regular E major chord, so please watch the video on E major if you haven't seen that one yet. But if you know your E major chord, you know that it's this shape right here, right? Okay, so to make this one E7, we need to add a certain note to it, which is 7 notes away from our root. E. E, F, G, A, B, C, D. Okay, so the note that I need is actually a D. So, when I'm playing this, I'm not playing a D note on my D string. I'm playing the second fret of my D string, the E note. E, another E. So one way to make this 7 is instead of doubling this E note, which I actually have 3 of. I have this E, I have this E, and I have this E. Right, so I actually don't need this one in the middle. It's sort of redundant. So instead I can just play the open D string. That will give me the 7th note over E, right? And that will give me an E7 chord. The shape looks very similar to A minor 7. We learned about A minor 7, E7. Just like A minor is the same shape as E moved over, A minor 7 is the same shape as E7 moved over. Okay, so really this isn't even a new shape for you. It's kind of like the E with one finger missing, but it's also kind of like the A minor 7 shape we already learned on different strings. Okay, so now let's talk about the minor version of this. So if we just open up that note on the 4th string there, and instead of playing the 2nd fret we play D, would that work to play the minor version of this, E minor to E minor 7? It would. So you can play E minor 7 with actually just one finger. Open E, 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the 5th string, open, 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 open. Okay, same thing. We just opened up the D string basically. We added in an open D to this shape. So if you're working with E, you find the thing on the D string, it's on the 2nd fret. You take that finger off, E7. If you're working with E minor, okay, you find the note on the D string, you take that finger off, E minor 7. Okay, there's actually another way to do this as well. So we'll go back to the regular E, and as we mentioned, we're just trying to add the note D. Well, we learned on this channel, we were learning how to read the notes of the guitar, and we learned all the notes on the 2nd string in the open position. We learned that it was open was B. We learned C was here on the 1st fret, and the note D was here on the 3rd fret, right? So this is the note D. So I must be able to add that one in and get that to my E, right? So here's my regular E, and I'm looking, okay, I see that note I want right here. Currently what's playing on that string? Oh, just an open B. Oh, hey, I have a finger that is not doing anything. Can I put it down here on this D and get an E7 chord? I can. This is a cool E7. It gives us a 7 near the top, and it also, if we play the open E as well, that's kind of a dissonant sound, which is cool. Sometimes you want that dissonant sound in there. Okay, so that's another way of playing E7. You take your regular E shape, we need to add the D note. Instead of subtracting a finger to get that D note, I'm going to just add a new finger to get that D note. in a different D note. This one is a little bit higher and over here, which is why this one has a different sound, and is why you want to know both of these, because sometimes one will sound good for the song you're playing, and sometimes the other will sound better for the specific context you need. It will depend on which song and where in the song, all sorts of things like that. But the more you know, the more you can make choices like that for yourself, right? So knowing both of these is great. Okay, so by that same logic, we can do the same thing with E minors. We have E minor. Okay, what's going on our B string? Nothing, we're playing it open. Okay, we need to make that a D note instead by playing the 3rd fret. We can still use our pinky right there. And that's a great way to play an E minor chord. E minor 7, that is. Sounds really nice to go to an A7 after that. Sounds like Down by the River by Neil Young. Okay, uses those chords. Awesome. Okay, so we'll kind of talk more about different cowboy chords and make sure we're doing good about learning all those and getting familiar with them. And now we know E7 like this. We know E7 like this. We know E minor 7 like this. And we know E minor 7 like this. Okay, so now we have some options. So if we see any of those chords in any songs we're learning, we'll know how to play them. Alright, well thank you so much for joining me for this guitar lesson. Please subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying this course, and I look forward to seeing you for some more lessons really soon. Thanks again.